8-0 Philly run. We talk about Victor Wembanyama and how great of a player he is, but GA, basketball IQ offensively for the Spurs, they're certainly behind.
Yeah, listen, they got a lot of young guys. I think, wanted to get a sense of where Wembanyama is, and now they realize he's a lot further along than a lot of people thought. And so it's going to be real interesting what they do this upcoming offseason, because I think he's further down the line in terms of his development. I think if they do the right things with that roster next year, they could potentially be a playoff team.
Well, they can go from 18 to 19 wins to 35. And if you can do that, because Greg is right. They didn't know where he was, so this has been a litmus test. But this kid is ready. Yeah. They need to go and invest and put some players around him, because this is the NBA. I keep hearing, well, they're a year away, 2 years away. If you're OKC, now's the time when you're playing well, when you have good players, because next year is never promised to anyone. So the way he's playing right now, I'm like, GA, go get the best players you can and put around him, put some veterans around him, get him a legit point guard, and then see how good he can make a team.
Yes, sir. Tatum and Wembanyama speaking French when they speak English. Yeah.
They want y'all in their business. They ain't want you in their business.
No. Private conversation.
Yeah.
They used to play in France.
Yeah. Lived there for 2 years, played there. My French used to be pretty good. It's been about 38 years since I've used it, but I still understand a lot of the language.
Yeah, baguettes, beignets, I get it. All right, so there we are.
What you're speaking in New Orleans, no, don't take that over there. They're going to look at you and say,
hey, Creole.
Hey, étouffé.
They're going to say, Parlez-vous, get out of here with that.
Well, how about the New York Knicks, Sam? Oh, at halftime, you were like, the
Knicks are number 4, baby.
Behind who do you believe in?
The Magic. Play the song. As they say in Orlando, play the song.
Look at you carrying a note, but how crazy is it when you look at the Eastern Conference standings? Philadelphia 76ers really needed this win, because trying to avoid that play-in and seeing those teams that are playing well right there, crazy time of year.
Yeah, this is a big-time win for them. Maxey had an incredible game, but they showed a lot of resilience in this game. And San Antonio showed a lot of inexperience. But Philly on the road, no Embiid, had their struggles at times in this game, but they found a way to get the win. And that's what the NBA is all about. And right now, when you look at the standings, I mean, I don't ever recall it being this jumbled.
At that.
You know, outside of that one, you think about it. Between 2 and 8, it's 4 games.
I love it.
That's incredible.
And 2 to 6. Even closer, just 2.5.
Even closer, 2.5. And so it's a lot to be determined. You got to factor in the tie breaks and whatnot. And who'd ever thought that Milwaukee could find themselves?
No, Greg, think about it.
They're in a free fall right now. They could not have home court in the first round.
They may want to continue to fall, because right now, they may end up playing Philadelphia in the first round. Now, think about that. Yeah, but if you're Philly and you're Doc Rivers, what kind of matchup would that be in the first round? The Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, if you're Milwaukee, no, that's a nightmare. But if you're Philly, if the way they've been playing, the way Joel Embiid has looked, hey man, you get a time, because everybody's gonna have a tough game. This jockey, back in the day, GA, we're not gonna say we lost some games, but you would look at the standings and the coach would be like, you know what? We're 3-1 against this team. I think we need to try to avoid them. But you look there in the East and West, you can't avoid anybody, because whoever you play, they're good.
Well, that's the difference, too, the parity in the league right now. When we played, right, an 8 seed never thought they could beat a 1 seed. No. They didn't. They'd be happy to get a game.
Yes.
And now these teams that are 8, 9, and 10, we saw it last year. We had a play-in team make it to the finals. We had a play-in team make it to the conference finals. And I think that's going to be more the norm. And it's setting up for that kind of a run here. That's why these last few games are so critical, and matchups matter.
But these teams that are in the play-in, they're not your typical team.
Former Coach of the Year, 13-year NBA veteran.
One person removed, not next to you. Let's just get it right. One person removed.
Well, y'all been going at it
all the time.
Well, great for you to show up at work at halftime.
You need a referee.
If this was a game, GA would be showing up in the third quarter and be like, I got us for the rest of the game.
I figured y'all were rolling. Y'all didn't need it.
But you know what? There's another member of our team that we would like to meet as well. Sideline Shorty himself, 3D, what's up, my friend? A lot to talk about in this great matchup we have between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. But let's start with LeBron James. I mean, so much on the line for the Lakers as they're trying to climb out of the play-in situation to that 6th spot out west, and LeBron out. So it has to be something serious with him.
Yeah, it is something serious, guys. And we always wonder, with 21 years, LeBron's been through so much. So now he is dealing with flu-like symptoms, not feeling well, so will not play tonight. And talking to Coach Ham, he said he's seen his team step up in many ways when LeBron hasn't played. The big game in Boston, Austin Reeves goes off on the road, they won. We've seen Anthony Davis lately play lights-out basketball. So they're hoping different guys can step up and play a good game tonight, knowing that LeBron can't play like they've shown this season.
3D, Sam here. Of all the talk about Anthony Davis in past seasons, not playing enough, not showing up, not being a dominant player, you look at this season, the amount of games he's played, and he's been dominant, putting up big numbers. What is Darvin Ham and the rest of the Lakers talking about as far as Anthony Davis and what he's shown them this year?
Coach Ham said in our meeting, guys, said, AD, stop worrying about stepping on toes. Stop worrying about being in guys' way. This is your team. LeBron's going to be okay. LeBron's going to do what he does. We'll be able to figure out ways to get D'Lo involved. But AD, this is your team. There's a reason they gave him a 86 million extension, guys? So AD has to step up and understand that Laker Nation, all the way to the top with Jeannie Buss, to Rob Pelinka on down to the players. AD, go be who we know you can be.
Hey, DZ, I mean, obviously a huge game for the Lakers, but the Timberwolves still battling to get that 1 seed. And one of the guys that's been really impressive from my perspective, Naz Reid. I mean, filling in for Karl Anthony Towns. He has been playing some lights-out basketball. Talk about his impact and what they're going to need from him tonight.
It's big, GA, because over the summer, if you remember, they were a little hesitant about giving him his new deal. Now he can arguably be underpaid how he's held down the fort for Catman. He shoots the three, he rebounds, he stretches the defense, he plays good, solid defense in the post. So Coach Finch talked about his energy coming off the bench, and now he's figured out I can be a starter, I can come off the bench. He realized he's a big part of this team if they want to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, like you said, Minnesota Timberwolves half a game out of first place, so obviously a big game for both the Lakers and the T-Wolves. And I think of a guy that we'll all be watching tonight, Anthony Edwards. He recently was in Shooter's Paradise. What did you learn from that interaction from one of the best players to interview in the league right now?
Well, just amazing for me, guys, knowing the young man since he's been 16 years old, his evolution of being a better leader. I think 4 or 5 games recently he's had 8 assists, trusting his teammates, understanding the ball's going to be in his hands. And Sam and GA, you'll love this. Defensively, he's willing to guard, JB or JT or Luka, whoever it may be, late game situation to show he's a true two-way player. And, of course, he attacks the rim with the best of them. Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee, but you know what? Another thing, youngest player in NBA history with 500 made threes. So you know what he does, 3D? He leaves it every time he shoots from outside, my friend. All right, 3D, as always, sideline shorty on the sidelines for the Timberwolves Los Angeles Lakers game. He's always doing it like he's doing it to do it for TV. Getting back to this matchup, Sam, I mean, so much to break down here, but something very positive you said about Anthony Davis. 9 consecutive double-doubles for years. Oh, street clothes. Oh, he's missing so many games. That hasn't been the case this season and really last season as well.
No, it hasn't. He stepped up and played the way the Lakers have always needed and wanted him to play. He's been one of the better defenders, and people are not talking about this. To me, he should garner a lot of votes for Defensive Player of the Year. When you look at his block shots, his ability to control the paint, it's second to none. And then when you look at his scoring and rebounding this year, and look at some of the wins this year, the Lakers have had some outstanding wins. And last but not least, they're playing their best basketball, GA. And this is when you want to play your best basketball. We just saw a team, Milwaukee Bucks, who's struggling this time of year trying to find themselves. The Lakers have finally found their identity. They're getting healthy. And look at that, 9-1 in their last 10 games. And GA, this is my question to you. Who in the Western Conference want to play the Lakers when they're playing like this?
The Denver Nuggets.
That's the right answer. That's about the right answer right there.
Listen, I do agree. The Lakers have been really good in this stretch. And I think if you go back to last year, after the trades, they really took off, right? They played great basketball. They were a dominant defensive team, got all the way to the conference finals. And the issue in that conference finals was the absence of D'Angelo Russell. Well, that hasn't been the case this year. If you look at how well he's played since the trade deadline, I think he's probably the biggest reason why there's more optimism in LA, because he's been a consistent second or third option from an offensive standpoint. What it does is it allows Anthony Davis to not be the focal point, and when he's not a guy that you're trying to force feed, it allows him to be even more dominant, I feel like. And now with D'Angelo Russell emerging, he is having an incredible season, really underrated the impact he's had. If he can play like this in the postseason, then this is a completely different team.
You know, Sam, to what GA is saying, there's something in particular that he's been doing. We've always known that he's been an all-star in the past. He's a guy that can pass the ball at an exceptional level. But over the last 9 games, he's made 4 3-pointers or more in 8 of those 9 games. When you think about LeBron and AD and floor spacing, he's really provided that during this current win streak.
I'm going to make a statement. The Lakers are only going to go as far as D'Lo takes them. And I say that for this.